Hello and welcome back to Gooders Front Room for some more Prime Cuts. This time up we've got the 25th Reich, an Australian production. Goes for kind of an Iron Sky sort of vibe. You get that pretty much straight away with this kind of sepia tinned CGI work that kind of tells you straight up what we're aiming for here. So after some introductory spiel about some panthers loose in Australian outback, we join our American soldiers who have been sent to recapture these panthers, who are some mascots for the army. They have this device with them, and then as their jeep pulls up, they get to this tree, declaring they can go no further, despite the fact that there is clearly enough room for the jeep to drive around. They find a body, although that's never really explained. So as they start to hunt the panthers, they carry this machine with them. As to this point, nobody has asked what this machine is, and we find out later on they don't actually know what it is until they're told, which seems very strange. They just happily carry it around. We have our captain, a sergeant, a couple of privates, and a corporal. So we have this kind of team bonding scene as we all get to tell little stories about their lives at home, needle each other, and we can see that they don't all get along. So at this point, the weird machine starts doing weird things, and it all gets a bit sort of Buck Rogers. And suddenly the squad is attacked in the middle of the night. At first it's implied it's the Panthers, but then we realise it's some kind of saber-toothed big cat. This obviously confuses everybody, and they run back towards the road. Fail to find the car, and then it's at this point that it's revealed that they have time travelled, and that the corporal here turns out to outrank everybody else, including the captain, and he's on his own mission that nobody else has been told about. And so they continue onwards. There's then this kind of cool little sequence where they're attacked by a swarm of giant mosquito-like insects. Now, for the film of this kind of budgetary level, this sequence is actually quite nicely done. Obviously, the CGI is not sort of super well integrated, but it does its job. One of the privates is killed during this attack. Eventually, they discover what they're searching for. Turns out it's a UFO, obviously. They've gone into the past to find a UFO that had been dug up in 1945. The stated intent is to get its technology, which is what the time machine is based on, so that they can use that to win the war. And as night draws in, the corporal kind of needles the rest of the squad some more, including the blonde soldier, or he works on getting the blonde soldier agitated, because it turns out that this blonde soldier is quite racist. It's a bit stereotyped because he's the southern-based guy. He turns out to be racist. Anyway, the corporal, it turns out, is secretly a German. He's secretly a Nazi, somehow. He manages to get away in the UFO, presumably time travelling forwards again. Luckily, the captain, who we're told is a Hollywood actor, has the technical knowledge to rebuild a time machine, somehow. Anyway, they successfully managed to travel back forwards in time, re-find their jeep, and then shock discovery, they're approached by a giant Nazi robot spider. I mean, this film takes a turn, it really does. This is where we're getting that kind of Iron Sky feeling. But sadly, this is only within the last sort of 20 minutes or so of the film. The rest of the film before this is quite slow. The racist soldier is turned into a giant spider machine and is sent to chase after his former comrades as his first kind of test. And he manages to kind of run a couple of them down. At this point, the private who had died, has been resurrected by the evil robot Nazi spiders, just for the fun of hunting him down again. Then, after the captain distracts this guy, we get a kind of somewhat out of place and tonally very unpleasant kind of sexual assault joke that goes on for far too long. This guy turns out to be still alive despite having been stabbed. He manages to find a futuristic grenade and he does indeed blow up the evil Nazi spider giant robot. He reconnects with the other two squad members. And after a bit of bonding, they decide to go and kick some ass. But then find this giant spaceport full of UFOs and hundreds of giant robot spiders. This is where it kind of really gets fun. But this is literally like the final moments of the film, and we've been made to wait quite a long time for this. The Nazi robot giant spiders launch themselves into space, and then we see them go into a kind of warp, and then we're told they're off to fight with God. Amazing. This film is another one of those that's not quite as trashy as its premise sort of promises. There's a lot of build-up. It's only about 80 minutes, and 60 minutes of that is very slow and quite plodding, probably because of the budget. So it is one I don't think I can recommend. It's a bit disappointing. It doesn't really deliver on the setup on the tin, so to speak. Join us again for another Prime Cutz very soon. Until then, like and subscribe and have yourself a good day.